This March Madness Picks Part 2 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Bet 100 and get 100 at WynnBet.com or download the WynnBet app and start winning today. Save restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the D-Gen Dance. Our March Madness Bankroll Contest is back. Free to enter, and $1,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. Plus, we've got first half under bingo. Enter both contests on the SGPN app.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
We're here. This is a celebration of the New York Football Giants, aka
Giants trade for a washed-up tight end. Now we got to derail the entire show.
What do you mean? I'm also wearing whatever team you like that wears blue. I'm wearing that color blue as well.
Duke Blue Devils. Huh?
I don't know if I would associate it with a Dookie, but just decided to look sharp. We have some guests in the studio. I've noticed some sharp-looking business casual conference goers walking by, checking us out, mostly because I look so sharp. So thanks for having me, Sean.
Appreciate you coming on the show, Ryan. Joining us here to talk college basketball, Colby Dant, a.k.a. the Dantabase. What's up, Colby?
I like his attire.
Yeah, looking sharp. Colby's wearing a dress shirt.
Vegas shirt, too, Sean. Vegas shirt, too.
Kramer, imagine we come up with all these T-shirt designs for the college experience. We get the first half under shirts. I'm the only one actually wearing merch from the merch store. Pick Dundee, too good for his own shirts.
Can't be the guy going to the concert with the band of the concert.
Why?
You know what I mean? Can't be that guy.
If you're in the band, it's awesome. I'm rocking a first half under shirt. I don't care what you're thinking.
I did Benedict my first game today for the tournament.
Yes, I saw
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Had a little situation with Texas A&M Corpus Christi's, one of their better players, arguably their best player on their team. We did not have this information when we recorded yesterday.
So Colby, you're see the problem is once you make the picks on the show, the picks are locked in.
Well, no, not until you place the wager, actually, Sean. And Terry and Murdoch's is out for the season, actually. So the Islanders lose the Defensive Player of the Year in the Southland. All first team, 13.4 points per game, 5.4 assists, 4.3 rebounds. Have fun with the Islanders, Kramer.
First of all, if you're new to the program, you may not be familiar with Benedict Dant, named after the great Benedict Arnold.
What?
Who famously
the great Benedict Arnold?
Yeah.
What side are you on, Ryan?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm staging this for Colby's character
okay.
here.
The Giants play in London
who,
this year?
by the way, stepped out from the city of Philadelphia to betray this great nation. And now Colby betrays Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, if I wasn't already rooting for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, now I'm really rooting for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. We're going to be watching, reacting to that game live as we go through, pick all the Friday games against the spread. We also have a couple gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, hanging out in studio. Of course, the Don of SGPN, our consig, Scott Bowser. What's happening, Bowser? Happy birthday.
Scott's
birthday.
Hey, thank you guys. This is fun. Like, I'm heading out of town because I'm leaving Vegas tomorrow because it's a little too much once it gets hit. I'm going down to the river in Laughlin.
In true Vegas local style, he's like, March Madness, it gets too crazy. I got to get out of town.
It's the equivalent of you LA guys going down to San Diego for the weekend. But I got to go down there.
Move some product.
Recharge my batteries. Yeah, just.
What kind of batteries you recharge?
You know what, though, Colby? I love your thing here on Corpus Christi's best player being out.
Wow.
because it's like I was telling Sean this earlier. Really, what's the difference between their best player and eighth guy on the roster?
Well,
on
the
that team,
Southland Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think Corpus Christi's just loaded with depth.
Pull the ripcord, Sean.
You know?
Pull the ripcord.
All right, as well as Noah B. making his Sports Gambling Podcast debut. You know him from the college baseball experience. Noah, first time out in Las Vegas. What's happening, man?
It's going pretty well. I've been out here for now 15 hours, and I've been asked twice if I'm 21.
All right.
And to clarify, are you 21?
I am 21.
And over under that many erections.
Save
to you
it
by
for the
Sword
Sword
Vitality.
Vitality read.
Sorry.
But yeah, great news for Noah. The working ladies around the strip, they don't ID, so don't worry about that.
It's not like a rental car. You don't have to be 25.
Patrick Fisher in the YouTube chat wanted me to ask, did Noah's parents sign a permission slip to allow? Do you have the permission slip right there in front of you, Noah?
Oh,
It's a bracket.
good answer. Good
Which,
answer.
by the way, Sean, if we could get the admin team working on a template for a permission slip going forward for a
yes.
DGen, maybe wanting to get to Vegas for the weekend, a boilerplate conference type mailer.
Well, and I mentioned to the Josh, our social guy, that we need some sort of like fake, you tested positive for COVID, the 1H under variant, and that is causing you to miss at least 4 days, and then another 2 days a week later when it relapses.
I saw some article that they're predicting that cases of various types of low grade flus and other things will be going up by 10,000% over the next couple days.
Hey, man, we got a lot. Let's get to it. Listen to that music. Time for college basketball. You know what that means? Head over to WynnBet, WynnBet.com, or download the Wynn Betting app. March Madness, it's here. Hit down on the first half unders. You got to do it over at WynnBet. So many ways to win. And, again, bet 100, get 100. State restrictions apply. Massachusetts. WynnBet is live in Massachusetts. Shout out to the Chatterheads. If you guys have not signed up, what are you waiting for? And, of course, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get a $1,000 free credit courtesy of WynnBet. Again, so many ways to win. Offer subject to change, terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And our March Madness contests are back, including the D-Gen Dance, where we have $1,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. And, of course, the first half under bingo. You can win an SGPN gift card, completely free to play on the SGPN app. Kramer, we haven't set a number yet, an over-under on how many first half unders. Of course, 36 is the total number of first half unders that we will be betting on. But if you had to set a number, what would you set it at as far as how many unders we're going to hit?
I didn't know you were going to ask me that question, and yet I had the data.
You have the projections.
Colby can verify. I had the data up in front of me.
Spreadsheets.
I mean, looking across the years, I would say setting the total to something like 21. Obviously, that brings you in at 21 and 15. That's probably considered profitable by most. Although there are people out there that claim it's not been profitable, even in the year 2021. Well, I can't help if you got some horrible closing line value there, buddy. But yeah, I mean, typically I would shoot for the moon and say fuck it, 69%.
69%. I'm in. 69. I mean, nice.
What is 69% of 36, Sean?
Off the top of my head, that would be 23.
24 and a half. We'll set it at 24 and a half.
24 and a half. All right. Yeah, I guess this is the rare time where I'll take the over when it comes to first half unders cashing in.
Nice job, Sean.
See what I did there, Ryan?
You did a good job.
Thank you. Also, I did the first half unders. I did them at one of these kiosks out here, and then I showed Ryan. They printed out the slips. The slips do not have the game info on it. They only have the whatever the number is for that game. They don't have the two teams playing on the first half under. Thankfully, I only did it for the first four because it's easy to match up. Like, okay, in the Texas A&M Corpus Christi game, the total's sitting at 73. All right, that I can figure it out with 4 games. I'm glad I didn't put all 36 in there because that would have been a complete nightmare, a complete disaster.
Well, and now I don't actually. They're not in pocket. The Heat is not in the hat right now. It's
okay.
It's outside. But I want to check because I feel like I looked at them and I didn't have the same problem. So perhaps you just had a faulty machine. The robot failed you.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, typically they did have the event ID, so you could look it up based on that. If you haven't memorized the event ID by now, I don't know if I can help you.
Control
You've
Alt
been
Delete,
snorkeling,
buddy.
dude.
Control Alt Delete.
You hear that, Colby?
Well, Ryan, you
motor?
have your snorkeling mask.
Oh, here comes Sean with his jet ski hot tub.
Wait, what? Oh, I mean, you sound like, first off, Ryan sounds like a bulldog. I don't know what engine are you trying to?
It's like a 2-stroke that's got a little water in it, and it's pulling a hot tub. It's pulling a hot tub, so it's got too much weight in the back.
All right,
can someone make that a sound drop, please?
Let's start picking the games, Ryan.
All right.
Could be joined shortly by special guests. We'll see. But let's get to the games right now.
All right. So here's what. First, let's set the table stakes. Unfortunately, all right. So this is the first year I can ever remember the play-in game winner from tonight, aka Mississippi State Pittsburgh, is going to get an extra day off coming into this day. They play tonight and then they play Friday. Typically, you'd have 2 playing games go Thursday to Friday for whatever reason. All right. Abort? I mean, yeah, so basically, strangely, we aren't picking 3 games here. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, but we will get to all those picks after we talk to our special guest. Joining us on the line, you know him as a college basketball analyst for ESPN and a former Duke graduate, Mr. Jay Bilas. What's happening, Jay?
I'm still a Duke graduate.
Okay,
they
yeah,
haven't
you're
taken
right.
it away from me. I'm not a former Duke graduate.
Yeah, well,
Well, I just, you know what, I reflect on my own academic career at Penn State where I didn't quite graduate. So, I was probably projecting there, Jay. I apologize. You are a current Duke graduate. Let's just start there. Let's talk about your Duke Blue Devils. A lot of people are picking Oral Roberts as a trendy upset pick here in round 1. What do you make of the game, and how far do you think Duke can make it, assuming they get past Oral Roberts?
Well, if they get past Oral Roberts, Duke's good enough to play in the Final Four, and I think Oral Roberts is a fair upset pick. I'm not sure I would take it unless you think Oral Roberts is the one that's going to advance, because you wind up getting all worried about these upsets that are going to happen in the first round. I look for upsets where I think both teams would get beaten the next round anyway. Gives you a little separation in your bracket. But Oral Roberts is very good. I think they're actually better this year than they were 2 years ago when they beat Ohio State. They have the same guard that was dominant, Max Asmus, who's averaging about 22 a game, but they don't have Kevin O'Banner transferred to Texas Tech. But they've got a kid, Connor Vanover, who's 7'4", that played at Arkansas. And they spread it around pretty well. They've got good players at every position, but Asmus is the wild card difference maker. But Duke is the only concern you have about Duke is they are young, and I think only one of their regulars has played in the NCAA tournament before. Maybe Jacob Grandison did at Illinois. He transferred in, but he's not a heavy minutes guy. So you don't know how they're going to react, especially if they were to get down a little bit. But they're so much better defensively. And they're so big and protect the rim so well. I mean, they call it upset for a reason, but that would surprise me if Oral Roberts were able to beat them.
I know we're in the middle of the Duke season still, but based on the regular season, the ACC tournament, how would you grade Jon Scheyer's first year? Obviously ridiculous, to have to fill the shoes of a coaching legend, but how would you grade that?
An A. I think the best part of what Jon Scheyer has done this year has been the patience and the methodical building of the team. They're talented. They've got a couple of lottery picks on the team, but they didn't start out offensively proficient. They early in the season, upway to midway in the season, one of the things that I would say is they can't shoot. And John has always felt like, no, we can shoot. We're not making them right now, but we can shoot. And he built the team on defense. They're a great offensive rebounding team. They've got unbelievable size and athleticism. But they haven't had a full complement of players for the whole year. So I believe this number's right. It's either 17 or 18-1. 17-1 or 18-1, whatever it is, with a full complement of players. And they have that full complement for the NCAA tournament. And around, well, definitely the start of the ACC tournament, when they played their first game, they beat Pittsburgh pretty badly. And from then on, they have been knocking shots down like crazy. I think they were shooting well over 60% in that tournament going into the game against Virginia, where they shot in the mid-40s probably. But the fact that their offense is starting to mirror their defense it gives a pretty good indication that they could advance. And if they beat Oral Roberts and they beat the winner of that Tennessee game, they could wind up playing Purdue again. And they played Purdue in November in Portland, got beat. But I think they're a better team that Purdue would have to beat this time, and a more formidable challenge.
See, now even Jay enjoys fading Purdue. I mean, they're fading them in the tournament is a fun tradition. You released your Final Four. You got Arizona going up against Duke in the Final Four, and then Texas, UConn on the other side. You have Arizona winning it all. First off, I have to ask you: are you worried you might be giving Princeton some bulletin board material for their game?
Honestly, I mean, I know there's some joking in that kind of question, but honestly, sometimes I do think that when we pick these upsets, because last year I picked somebody to beat Arkansas in the first round, and I can't remember who it was now, New Mexico State or something, and Arkansas was coming at me about it, Eric Musselman and all that stuff, and they won by a bucket.
Jay Bilas doesn't think you guys can win the game.
Well, that was the thing. Like, they won by a bucket. It's not like they blew them out.
Yeah.
And it came down to one possession. But sometimes I think that is a dynamic. I remember as a player when you felt disrespected or something like that. It wasn't necessarily bulletin board material stuff, but it would help you in your preparation. I don't think any of that stuff helps you in the game, but if it helps sharpen your focus leading up to the game, I guess that automatically helps you in the game. But I do think that's a factor, yes.
Yeah, and again, as someone who may provide bulletin board material, it's not like you can respond. It's not like you can point out, like, hey, I picked against you guys, but you only won by 2 points. It's not, you don't need to go crazy with your, tagging me on @freezingcoldtakes or whatever it is. You had the right angle there.
Look, I want to dive into a lot of the March Madness stuff, Jay, but last year when you were on this show, you asked us, or you told us about Coach K getting into gardening. And I was wondering, have you visited the garden, or perhaps has Coach K maybe picked out some tomatoes for you? I want to know how the garden's going with Coach K. Have you caught up with him?
I haven't seen the garden because he didn't just get into it with with retirement. He had said for years beforehand, people would ask him, what do you do outside of basketball? And I have always believed the answer is nothing. And so he said he would always talk about gardening, and I just couldn't get a mental picture of him with a little garden trowel and his little gloves on and maybe a big old hat being out in the garden. Like when he said gardening, I thought he'd be out there like with Katharine Hepburn or something, looking for the loons.
The plants are drooped over, and he just stands up from the porch and looks over with that glare like he does at the referees. And right up.
You better grow plants. I
think it was more than that. I think he probably had a garden crew that if he treated anything like he treated me when I was a player, he would yell at them like, pick that up. Dive on that.
Hey, you rose bushes, do a lap. Well, being out in California, I know a lot of people with gardens that don't show them off, but it's probably a different reason than what Coach K has going over in his garden.
I hear he has great tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. It's some sort of a growing thing over there. Big story, obviously, coming into the tournament is Alabama, their path. You have Alabama making it to the Elite Eight, not getting past there. What's your reasoning for maybe not having them go all the way? They are the number 1 overall seed, but what's your take on Alabama this season?
Well, first of all, Alabama, I do think is probably the best team this year. And it's more a thing of when I looked at the bracket, I was thinking, all right, in a year like we've just had, what are the chances that numbers are going to advance? So I decided to take a couple of flyers. That's all it really was. Because that game, if Arizona and Alabama wind up playing in the regional final, that game's 2 weeks away. And, a lot can happen in those 2 weeks. And who knows? I mean, this cottage industry of picking games. When I first started in this job, I was called a color commentator, and I talked about, well, why is this matchup important? What can be the difference making factor? What's the best matchup in the game? And now we're asked to pick the games. And if I could pick these with any degree of accuracy, I would not be talking to you guys. I'd be in Vegas right now with my feet up at the pool with a drink and a big pile of cash. But
well, you might be talking to us because we're in Vegas too. So we might
Jay,
be talking about the best.
You
place.
got some inside info.
I might be there.
Feel free to text it over. We can put some bets in for you. We don't have to tie your name to it.
But Alabama's got the best player.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller's the best player. He's not he'll be the highest draft pick out of any college player. Zach Edey's the most difficult to game plan for at Purdue. But I think when Alabama, if they play Arizona's big guys can really run. They're formidable and they're really good offensively. But Alabama's better defensively than Arizona. But I don't know. It was more a feeling than anything. I thought Arizona was going to do a little bit better last year than the Sweet 16. But maybe that experience will help them out this year.
Now, I like it. Jay's a fellow gut handicapper there. A lot of times coming into the tournament, there'll be certain conferences when people are putting their bracket together. They go, oh, hey, I want to fade the Mountain West, or oh, hey, I want to fade the Pac-12. Obviously, the Big 12 has gotten a ton of hype as far as conference going into the tournament and all season. The SEC has gotten a lot of hype. The ACC has gotten a lot of grief on the other side. If you had one conference to flop that you think is going to underperform, and then maybe a conference to surprise, how would you break that down?
I think the Big East is a little bit underrated with Marquette and UConn sort of leading the way. I think last year, if I remember right, the Big Ten was considered the best league, and it didn't perform well in the tournament at all. I don't think that's conference related. I think it's just team related, and the matchups that they had, they just lost. I don't think it meant, okay, the conference wasn't that good, because the teams we're talking about did extraordinarily well in the non-conference. So I don't buy any of that stuff. Like last year, the ACC was just as maligned by schleps like me as it was this year. And then North Carolina went to the championship game, and Miami went to the Elite Eight. I think they had two teams. We expected Duke, I think, to do well. But when people were saying, "Aha, look what Carolina did," and all that, I was like, I get it, but they weren't losing on purpose in the regular season. It wasn't crazy to undervalue the league.
Yeah, it wasn't a part of some master plan where they're like, all right, we're going to tank in the regular season, then we're going to beat Coach K in his last game, and then go on a crazy run.
And as a Duke guy, it's got to feel great to see them as the preseason tournament or championship favorites to not make the tournament at all.
No, it's horrible. I mean, I don't think it's good for basketball. Hubert Davis, I count among my very good friends, and I feel awful for them and for the ACC because they're good enough to be in the field. They just didn't win enough games. And the other team that was good enough to be in the field that got screwed was Clemson. If Clemson had North Carolina across its chest with that, or Duke with that same resume, they would have been in a walk. So I don't know exactly how that stuff works, but when you get the explanation of, well, quad one wins and this and that, all these analytics, you're like, look how good they are and look how many quality games they've won. And I'm not a big fan of the thing about, well, their non-conference schedule is rated here. It wasn't rated that way when they put it together, but I thought, don't they always beat us over the head with full, total body of work?
Yeah.
Well, it's total body of work. What does it matter what their conference or non-conference was? It's their total body of work, and I think their total body of work was good
It
enough.
always seems like they move the goalposts.
Well, I watched a lot of the explanation on Selection Sunday from the committee, and I'm a fairly sophisticated fan, and I got to be honest, it sounded a lot like someone talking out both sides of their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, that's fair, and I think that's correct. I think the problem that the committee chair gets in every year, and it's irrespective of which person it is they try to explain something in the moment, and then you take the bullet points they used on that explanation, you apply it to another team, it doesn't wash. And look, if it were me, I would just say, why did the committee choose Nevada over Clemson? At the end of the day, after doing all of our due diligence, we just felt that Nevada was better. And then you're done. You don't have to get into the.
You can tell Jay's a lawyer. That's a perfect response.
You don't give more information than you need to give. Don't give the cops anything else. Just give the one word.
It's a simple response, and it's right. It is weird. Like the extra words just seem to get them in trouble.
Yeah, they do. So we're going through. We're picking all the games here against the spread, especially for the round of 64. Who do you think is like the surprise team, the underdog that you would be getting down on, or that you have in your bracket? Like who's a great round one upset that people aren't on right now?
There are. I don't know if people are on them. It seems like everybody's on everything. I think Charleston can beat Virginia because they shoot a ton of threes. Almost half their shots come from three, and they play really up tempo. Virginia is expert at slowing the game down. I mean, I favor Virginia. They're a better team, and they should win.
Yeah,
Furman.
But Charleston can win.
Furman.
I thought Charleston was playing Charleston's playing San Diego State. Yeah, at San Diego State. Well, it's the same analysis. San Diego State can slow them down because they're big and strong. And then Utah State can beat Missouri for similar reasons. Missouri's not the best defensive team. They don't rebound at a high level, but they can make a lot of challenge shots. They've got a player named Colby Brown that I don't think Utah State has an answer for, but Utah State is very good, and I would not be surprised to see them win that game. There are a couple others. I think Drake Miami, Norchad Omier twisted his ankle. I just don't know how bad it was. He couldn't finish the game against Duke. It happened the first 65 seconds of the game, and he was out, and that made a big difference in that game. But he's a double guy for them, an interior player, protects the rim and all that, transferred in from Arkansas State. Miami's better. They got more shot makers. They're the better team, but I wouldn't be surprised if Drake won because Drake's got Tucker DeVries and Roman Penn, their point guard. They gotta have a little Creighton vibe to them. And then Kent State is very good. They're playing Indiana, and they played Houston, they played Gonzaga, they played Charleston, and played them to one possession games or two possession games. So they're not afraid. And sometimes the teams that played games like that and lost are in the weeds a little bit. If they had won the game, you may feel different about them, but they're just as good, even though they got clipped by a bucket.
Certainly seems like the potential 12-13 second-round matchup there.
Oh, yeah.
In general, though, and I'm curious because you've been covering the sport for so long, don't you feel like this field is as open as it's ever been? All these games seem, like close games to me, and also just the storylines from the higher seeds, whether it's, Texas, they don't have Chris Beard. Is that going to play a factor in March? Or, Kansas, the Bill Self situation, what's going on there? Does he have all of his focus with the Jayhawks right now? You can go one by one. UCLA's been hit by the injury bug. TCU had a guy quit the team. Don't you feel like this field is as open as it's ever been?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it does feel that way, but it felt like that way. It felt that way going into the conference tournaments, and all the big shots won.
A lot of chalk,
the higher seeds. It did, yeah. And so I don't know the answer to that. I tend to think it's more matchup driven and path driven. Take UConn, for example. So I've got UConn in the Final Four, and the only thing that gives me pause about that is in their first round game, they're playing Iona. And Iona, as you know, coached by Rick Pitino. They've got really good guards. They have size, and they press. And the fact that they can force turnovers and make the game chaotic against a team that would rather not play that way gives you pause. And if they win that game, they're playing the winner of VCU St. Mary's. And St. Mary's is a ball control team. They're kind of like a Virginia type team. And it's going to be a slower game. I think, though, St. Mary's is probably going to get beat by VCU. And VCU's got a point guard named Ace Baldwin, who's a really good player. He's the player of the year in the A-10. He was defensive player of the year in the A-10. He's not a 20-point-a-game guy, but he's probably 13, 5 or 6 assists, and He's really good. And they can force turnovers not only in the full court, but in the half court. So they can be disruptive to a team like Connecticut. So I could see Connecticut going to the Final Four, but I could see them getting bounced by one of those two teams if they don't play really well. And you're going to have to play really well to beat each of Iona and VCU. And look, Iona hasn't won a tournament game since Jeff Ruland and Jim Valvano were there in 1980, I think it was. But they're still capable, and especially this team, because they can be so good at forcing turnovers, and they guard the 3-point line really well too.
Regretting doing the bracket in pen right now.
Yeah.
I need to make
Jay's
some edits.
making a lot of good points. Should have done the first draft in pencil. Jay, appreciate you calling in. Before we let you go here, shout out to the American Century Championship, the celebrity golf event, ultimate Cinderella story. What would it take, you think, for Charles Barkley to win the American Century Championship July 14th through 16th?
Disguising Scotty Scheffler like Charles Barkley and having him sneak in is the only shot that he's got.
Well,
Charles makes like 2 pars in 54 holes, and they're all on television, and it's very annoying. But because he's such a great guy. But his swing has gotten better. He's playing better.
It does look better. I mean, again, it's a complete train wreck, so anything looks a little better.
One other question I wanted to crowbar this in. We've had an ongoing argument on the College Basketball Experience podcast, or which analyst would be the best to hang out with. You know, maybe go to Cancun, have a good time, or a night out on the town. I'm curious, since you're there, who would you go with?
I'd go with Bill Raftery. I'm not sure about Cancun. I'm not sure about Cancun. If we went to Cancun, Raftery would have to be in a swimsuit, and I don't know that I want to see those out-of-bounds steaks. And
disgusting act.
He would get heat stroke just opening the refrigerator to get another cerveza. But he is the most fun. Like, you'll be sitting with him at a bar, restaurant, and the waiter will bring his drink, and if it's not filled up all the way to the top, Bill looks at him with this very disappointed look and says, "Would you trip?"
All right, we got to write a Bill Raftery spring break comedy, because that visual alone is amazing. Well, Jay, appreciate the time, and enjoy the tournament. Thanks for coming on, man.
This is Bill Raftery's. I have this in my office. This is Bill Raftery's nameplate from his desk at Seton Hall.
Oh, wow.
And I did the last game at the old Meadowlands, and they were cleaning out his office, and I got this. There were a lot of empty bottles too, but I left those behind. Just took the nameplate.
Well, if you stumble upon any of those Bill Raftery empty bottles, send them our way. We'll make that's a great souvenir.
Some sand art,
And by the way, if you guys really want to make some coin, you should bet on me at the American Century Championship this year, because I think I'm going to win the thing. I'm going to go Jeff Galooly on Tony Romo and take him out with a blow to the knee, kind of the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan thing. So he's going to be limping around. And I think I'm going to win it.
Wow.
Yes.
We got to go out in the Jeff Galooly reference, because that was amazing, Jay.
Max bet. Let's go.
All right, Jay, thanks again. Appreciate it, and enjoy the tournament.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care, Jay.
Oh, man, that was awesome. Hey, oh, man. Perfect transition, talking about spring break. If you're going on spring break, maybe with Bill Raftery, maybe without, whatever you want to do, you got to grab some amazing sunglasses. And, of course, I'm talking Shady Rays. Ryan, do you have your Shady Rays?
What do you mean, do I have my Shady Rays?
Pop those bad boys on. Look at those things. In studio, Shady Rays. Oh, wow. Ryan, you look legit fire.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to. I'm having to wave to some of my fans out there. They're noticing how sharp I look in the combo blazer. Oh, there are some more fans.
No, they just think that's
Some
Roethlisberger.
more. Oh, there we go. Some more of
They're
my
like,
fans.
wow,
walking by.
Roethlisberger's lost weight. Why is he wearing a Giants t-shirt?
I
He's coming
appreciate the
back.
compliment.
Yeah, and Shady Rays, so awesome. Great replacement policy. You lose, you break them. Even on day one, they got you covered. Head over to ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. That's ShadyRays.com, promo code SGPN. These things are fire.
Wow.
All right.
Well done, Sean.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, so as I was getting to before getting not rudely interrupted, but interrupted.
Jay Bilas storming the court, storming the show.
Onions,
The
games.
Rafferty stuff. We should have started with Rafferty and just done a whole podcast about. And wait, we have a surprise visitor. If we can get a shot on the glass, we have a snorkel, a scuba diver.
Yeah. Oh, they're with us, Sean.
Okay. Can we get a shot of
There
it?
it is.
I feel
he's
like
up.
I'm looking in a fish tank.
I know,
it's a literal fishbowl.
Yes, because we've turned we've flipped it around where the scuba, our snorkeler, or sorry, scuba diver is getting a ton of looks here at WynnBet.
Must have followed my picks. Must have followed my picks.
Oh, well, I don't know. He seemed to get taken off by the current, so we'll see how that goes. So as I was mentioning, 3 games not pickable due to the play-in nature of the opponent. So we will get started and pick the 13 we can. Again, any games we didn't pick, tune into the Wednesday show where we'll go over our brackets. We'll clean up the games we didn't pick. And 9:15 a.m. Now we're on Friday morning, heading to Columbus, Ohio. An East Region matchup between the 10-seed USC Trojans and the 7-seed Michigan State Spartans. Good old-fashioned battle here. Hopefully no one gets cut in their lower leg. -1.5 for Michigan State, -130 on the money line, +110 for the Trojans. 137.5 is the total. 64 first half under. I was a big Brad Pitt fan in that movie, so that started my handicap. Talked me off the Trojans.
What movie are you talking about?
Wasn't he a Trojan, or was he like Achilles?
Legends of the Fall?
Legends of the Fall. Was that the one where he falls down the river?
No, that was The River Runs Through It.
Yeah, see,
I know my river movies, man.
That's not.
So wait, Ryan, you're on USC.
Oh, 100%. You know I'm a Pac-12 Mountain West Coast guy now.
They're a Big Ten team.
You know I'm rocking the Shady Rays, which means bro level turned up to 10.
Oh, well, I mean, the ultimate move is you want to talk about going out on the lake in Michigan,
No, that
rocking
sounds
some
horrible.
Shady Rays,
No.
hanging out with Tom Izzo, talking about how Michigan State went on a little bit of a tournament run. Michigan State 4th in the nation in three-point shots, 37th in the country in the free throw line. They're just a good team, and they're built for the tournament, and they got knocked out early. That means Tom Izzo has just been chewing them out the entire time since they got knocked out of the Big Ten tournament until now, getting them dialed in, ready to go for this tourney run. I love Michigan State here. I think they're going to Tom Izzo versus Andy Enfield. I'm all in on Tom Izzo. I know Andy Enfield's been good ATS. This is Tom Izzo's time to shine. Give me Michigan State. Colby, are you with me?
Yeah, I am. Lock it up. This is one that I feel great about. You look, well, USC, Drew Peterson's dinged up. He's going to play, I think, but he's dinged up, so he's not 100%. Izzo, I think everyone's got this narrative now that Izzo can't get, he's changed. He can't win in March. Look, they had UCLA on the ropes, lost the game the year UCLA went to the Final Four. I think this Michigan State team's going to make a point. They got good guard play. They got a lot of veterans. And a little case of tragic magic we got going on, too, because I love that angle, too. He's going to do it for East Lansing. I think Michigan State is a team. I think Michigan State's a team to watch out for all tournament.
They could make a complete run. Noah raising his hand.
Yeah, USC is also coming into the Eastern time zone, and it's the first game on Friday as well.
Oh, Ryan, as someone who is all about body clock, that's gotta rock your world right
but
now.
they're a Big Ten team. They're a Big Ten team. They should be used to that, right?
It's an in-conference matchup in the tournament. This can't happen.
Yeah, I thought this wasn't supposed to happen.
My brother has SC going to the Final Four, so you could pretty much count Michigan State going to at least the Sweet 16 here.
Yes, the Fade Bowser system is in effect. So Kramer and I, or Colby and I, are on Michigan State. Kramer treading water up by the surface.
I'm free diving through some fucking caves right now. I'm doing underwater spelunking without a tank because I'm a man. We talked about the commandments for a reason. We liked Andy Enfield as being the best tournament, which, by the way, I'm still saying tournament wrong. I think it's supposed to be tournament. Andy Enfield, best all time, 10-2 ATS. We'll start there. Okay. And then we'll mention the fact that my simple system of fade the fucking Big Ten. I know Jay just completely disagreed with the idea of backing and fading conferences.
Yes.
but I'm the one in the studio looking sharp today. So Big Ten fade job mixed with a Andy Infield back gives me a situation where I'm going to even call my shot here. If there's a game that gets decided by 1 point and a whole bunch of people get fucked because Michigan State wins by 1, this will be that game.
All right.
I'm calling it out now, but give me the points. USC.
That sounds like Ryan's scared of taking them on the money line.
You know I'm a body clock guy.
That did blow your mind.
So, it's in the notes as being like I'm not going to bring it up, but if someone brings it up, it's a good point. I have no counterpoint to it other than Andy Infield. He knows what he's doing. He'll have the boys ready. All right, next up. And again, interesting early game of the day. I feel like often we don't get this type of matchup. So we'll have to make sure we're up early, Colby. Set the alarm. 14 seed, Kennesaw State. This is now 9:40 a.m. on Friday. Heading to Greensboro, North Carolina for a Midwest region matchup with the 3 seed, Xavier. 11.5 is the spread here. Xavier minus 675. 5-1 for Kennesaw State, plus 151 is the total. 71 first half under. Dog. Yeah, Xavier's a tough one for me.
Well, Fremantle is out. Obviously, that's big for Xavier. And Kennesaw State thrives as a dog. 9-3 ATS as a dog. 33rd in the nation at 3-point shots. Obviously, Xavier's also really good at 3-point shots. Kennesaw State 3-1 ATS when they're an underdog of more than 11.5 points. Xavier obviously puts up a ton of points, but I could see all Kennesaw State has to do is kind of hang around. I guess what scares me is their free throw percentage isn't great. It's at 66%, but Xavier isn't dominant enough at the line to take advantage when we're talking about the 11. I don't think Kennesaw State's a live dog, but I do think 11 is a hair high. How say you, Colby?
I'm with you. The Kennesaw State Owls, who are going to cover that game, Sean? Because look at what they've done. First off, they were in a game with Indiana in Bloomington Assembly Hall. I know they lost by 14, but they were in that game for a lot of the game. They almost beat VCU at VCU. And Xavier's defense down the stretch has been a little shaky. I think they cover it. I do think the Musketeers win the game, though. Sule Boom, probably the difference down the line. But give me the Owls to cover this one.
Did you not listen to Jay? Said the Big East was underrated. You know, I generally like the chalk. All right, let's do a little trivia. Let's do a little trivia. Which city is closer to, or which university is closer to Greensboro, North Carolina? Kennesaw State or Xavier? That's why I'm asking.
Kennesaw State.
Xavier, because it's Ryan making a point for Xavier.
Yeah, he's got to say that. That's the point.
They're basically the same distance.
Kennesaw State, the only team from Georgia in the tournament.
That's an interesting nugget.
Yeah,
because it's a football state. They don't play basketball. To me, this is a Big East play against a team that surprised that you're not out here talking about how. Colby, I'm talking to you. Surprised you're not out here talking about this roster not being up to snuff with Xavier, not being able to compete at the same level.
Well, they're an experienced team.
You did that with some other teams yesterday. You kind of you brushed them off.
No, I think Kennesaw State's got players, though. I like their coach. He's Sharif Abdul-Rahim's
I like him
brother.
Too. He did a good.
Remember him?
He did a great interview. He was one of the highlights of the post-selection Sunday interview circuit.
If I'm the Georgetown Hoyas, I might want to give him a call.
I don't trust schools named after Civil War battles.
Oh, interesting. All right. So is that Kennesaw State or Xavier?
We're not historians over here, Bowser.
Yeah, feel free to finish your awesome comment.
The Battle of the Owls? Did that happen? Was that after Antietam?
Yeah.
Sean?
I'm not a civil. We'll reenact a Civil War in another show.
In general, I do think the Big East is going to show up nicely here. Candidly, we didn't really talk about our personal numbers here, but I made this 14, so surprised to see you guys grabbing the dog. Moving along, another 14-3 matchup. We got UC Santa Barbara and Baylor heading Denver, Colorado here for a South Region matchup at 10:30 a.m. again Friday. Baylor laying 11 points here, minus 625 on the money line. UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos, 470 on the money line, 143 for the total, and 66.5 under. I love UC Santa Barbara. And I know Baylor's
Really?
a well put together team.
into UCSB, because I think Baylor just has the athletes that could really run it up on this UCSB defense that's not used to seeing this kind of talent when it comes to shooting. I mean, I guess the case you make is Baylor's not great at rebounding, but what's your take on why are you leaning UCSB?
Because I think UCSB can score too, and I don't know if I would necessarily say like Baylor is a massive advantage on the defensive side of the ball. And I think anytime you have a mid-major 14 seed here catching double-digit points, when I think that they can, like if this becomes a shootout, I'm fine saying, yeah, I think Santa Barbara can keep it within 11, no problem. I mean, I certainly would look to, if I'm playing some aggressive long shot round robin parlays, which I will be. This is one of the ones that you slide in here.
The thing that scares me is Baylor's offense, 32nd in the country in three-point shots. UCSB, the Gauchos' defense, 217th in the nation in allowing the three-point shot. Uh-oh, he's snorkeling, Colby.
Oh.
He's got the snorkel mask on.
Wait, but he said he's going with the Gauchos.
Maybe they are. Maybe
He's deep.
Maybe the Gauchos are the ultimate snorkeling
pressure?
player.
How do I sound? Do I sound good?
Yeah.
You sound like you got a little head cold going.
Yeah.
I feel like my face is going to turn red. I got to take this off. I mean, everyone knows I have a above average head, so this was it was not sized ahead of time.
If you're playing Kramer Bingo, mentioning of how big his head is and how it's not regular size, I'm surprised he didn't get it in the Shady Rays.
It's a size 8. It's a size 8.
Colby, what do you break the tie? Because I'm leaning Baylor, but I could be talked into UCSB.
I went and saw this UC Santa Barbara team in person, and I highlighted them as a team I want to take in March. I was upset.
How are they not a wine and cheese crowd though?
No, I went there. I saw them at Long Beach State.
Okay.
Yeah, that was more of a meth crowd.
I'll wear like a monocle. I have to pick.
They don't let charcuterie in the Long Beach arena.
But UC Santa Barbara, one thing that stood out to me, from that game, but also watching them all year, is their guard play. And I just wanted to take them in
veteran
March.
guard play.
I wanted to take them in March no matter what. So I think you got to take them with the points. The problem is they are getting Scott Drew, who's obviously one of the better coaches in college basketball. You look at their guard play. Josh Pierre-Louis from New Jersey.
Great name.
This guy can play. Him and AJ
that's why
Mitchell,
Kramer's on him.
two great guards that I think could give Baylor some problems. I also think Miles Norris and Andre Kelly, as long as they stay out of foul trouble at the forward position, could also be able to give them some fits.
Also, UCSB more accustomed to legal marijuana.
I like this angle.
Yeah, they're college
I
kids.
like this angle.
Maybe they got it from Coach K's grow up.
Which, by the way, Jay Bilas had no comment on the,
Yeah, he didn't confirm or deny it.
Oh,
He's a lawyer.
he's an old guy
Yeah.
too. Old guys all love weed.
All right, you talked me into it. I'm on the Gauchos.
Let's go. And look, remember they got their heart broken a couple years ago. Made the tournament. Should have beat Creighton. Had a final second shot rattle out. I think they at least cover. They show up here. Some of those guys got some experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for the joints. It's a better option than taking anti-inflammatories all the time. 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Albany,
All right, Ryan sold on weed.
Albany, we can go deeper. Well, tune into the List Gambling podcast with me and Colby. We'll get deeper on stuff. Denver,
Do I still have a list?
Albany, New York, for a West Region matchup at 11 a.m. The 12-seed VCU against the 5-seed St. Mary's. St. Mary's laying 4, minus 190 on the money line, plus 160 for VCU. 144 is the total, 56.5 first half. Under, I know I completely disregarded the body clock argument with USC because they're a big time program. But St. Mary's, they're basically flying from Australia. A lot of these, I mean, we're talking about 16 hours of
Welcome to the land down under.
Natural time. I mean, in all seriousness, again, Albany, I do slightly favor VCU in terms of the
Am I
region.
crazy to say the wrong team is favored here? I mean,
No. The right team's favored, but the team that's favored also has a lower floor than most teams that would like this. They're a more classic 5 seed to me.
yeah.
Like this is a classic 5-12 matchup.
This is the one. This is the 5-12 upset I really like. I mean, again, Ace Baldwin, leading scorer for the Rams. I think he's going to be frisky. I know Scott Reichel tweeted out he was on VCU to make it to the Sweet 16. If Scott Reichel's on it, you know, sharp money is on VCU. And I don't know, did you see anything out of that St. Mary's run that was in the conference tournament this season? Well, I don't know. I'm not really excited about St. Mary's as a team.
It's their defense. It's the rock fight.
Randy Bennett's an amazing coach for St. Mary's, so I would never, I wouldn't be surprised. But I love this matchup. I love this matchup. The athleticism of VCU is going to be too much, I think, for St. Mary's, despite the way St. Mary's plays defense.
VCU has some athletes.
Ace Baldwin, as Jay alluded to, is a player. Also, like Brandon Johns, the Michigan transfer, he transferred out so he could make the NCAA tournament. Noah Bieniek, know you're a Michigan Wolverine fan.
He made it with us twice.
Yeah, I know, but this year, Michigan's watching this.
I know
they're in the
what
NIT.
you mean now.
I just think it's a bad matchup for St. Mary's. It stood out to me right away. I think St. Mary's has overachieved this year, and I think they're a good team, but I just think the way that VCU plays defense.
I mean, this feels like
this
is a classic one-score game. Come down to the final shot. Why would you not take the 4 free points?
2 picks in a row for the Discord.
Yeah, Discord is on
Baylor and St. Mary's.
Baylor and St. Mary's. All right.
A lot of foreign net. All right, so moving along, 11:45. Excuse me, on the West Coast, Columbus, Ohio, East Region, 2-seed Marquette, another Big East team taking on the Catamounts of Vermont, the 15-seed. Will they be the chalkiest 15-seed money line play? Probably.
Really?
They should be.
You think everyone's going to be on Vermont?
The spread would indicate that. Plus 450 on the money line, minus 600 for Marquette. 11 points if I didn't mention it. 144 is the total, and 68 is the first half under. Just real quick aside, as we're live sweating the Corpus Christi SEMO game, just watching these dudes throw, I mean, if not for fouls, but just full-blown air balls are happening. We got to love March.
Air balls always great for the unders, obviously.
It does. I mean, just from, perusing social media and stuff, it does seem like people are talking. Like, how many people have you talked to that said, you know what, I'm really liking Asheville? Besides Colby. Colby. Because I feel like I've heard a lot of people say Vermont. I feel about Princeton, Colgate. Like, those have all been mentioned.
I mean, to me, Vermont has failed in previous years because they come in as the tournament winner, and then they're matched up against some other team that just has a ton of beasts that they can't match up athletically at all. Marquette, I think, they kind of match up okay with. I don't think they're going to be scared. And Marquette is a conference tournament winner that I think makes sense to fade. Fading Shaka Smart in the tournament, I think, is always a great play.
Shaka as a favorite.
Yes.
Is 1-4 straight up, and that's not good as a favorite. And he's also what is this? 1-7 straight up, 2-6 ATS when it's -4 or less. So -4 or a dog.
This is the one that I think everyone says who could be this year's St. Peter's a 15 to actually do this.
No, I
don't know. Who would Vermont play after this?
Who would Vermont play after this?
Vermont would play
USC or Michigan State.
Yeah,
I think that's where they get outmatched.
Sure. But I'm just saying, to beat the 15 to get a win, which seems to happen more now. But
you don't think this Marquette team could physically outmatch Vermont?
Potentially. I mean, look, the Marquette is incredibly young. Them and Duke are like 2 of the youngest teams in this tournament. You look at Vermont, not only their starting 5, but their 7-man rotation, all seniors. I love Dylan Penn. That guy's a baller. I think Vermont can cover the spread, and I would not be shocked if they pulled it off, buddy.
All right.
If they pulled it off. If there's one. Look, I'm on Asheville in the points, but I'm not taking Asheville on the money line. I could see Vermont. If there was one, I think it would be Vermont that would get the win.
All right. I mean, you've talked. I mean, I certainly am not going to lay the points. Going to fade Shaka. I like that angle.
It just feels like such a letdown spot for Shaka Smart, who, they have the Big East Player of the Year. He's the Big East Coach of the Year. Couldn't you see them just laying an egg here? It just feels too perfect.
They're also hot. I mean, they haven't the only.
I think they won. I think they won their Super Bowl in the Big East tournament.
Oh, I follow the commandments. That's why I'm taking. Just so we're clear, that's why I'm taking Vermont here. But
let's go.
I do worry.
Let's go Catamounts. Colby, what is a catamount? I feel like every year I have this.
It's a mountain.
Yeah, I feel like we do talk about this a lot. I don't remember right now, though.
Yeah, we'll look that up.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Make sure you
It's a
that
cougar.
subscribe button. Let's see what
Cougar?
we're checking in.
It's a cougar.
So why do they call it a catamount?
I don't know.
It is a cougar, according to Easy in the chat. I trust that guy.
It's a mountain lion, also known as a cougar. I don't know. It's just a name for these fucking things. I'm not an animal guy. 12-10 on the West Coast. Greensboro, North Carolina.
Animal guy.
Midwest region. Iowa State will play the winner of Mississippi State and Pittsburgh. 6-11 matchup. Moving along. 1 p.m. on the West Coast. Denver, Colorado. South region matchup between Creighton, the 6th seed. North Carolina State, the 11 seed. 5.5 is the number here. Creighton minus 215, plus 185 for North Carolina State. 148 is the total. 70 first half under. I know that your wife, and I know you're wearing blue because she is fond of the Creighton Blue Jays.
Look, she looked at the bracket. She picked Creighton. She didn't know that I happen to think NC State's the worst institution in America.
Are you sure?
And she
She's
did not
lived
know
with
that.
you
She
for
did
how
not
long?
know that. She did not know that. And
I don't
she
believe it.
took the Creighton Blue Jays. Look, she didn't even see the bracket. She saw the teams in and said, I want the Creighton Blue Jays.
I was going to compliment you on your programming. It's very effective when she doesn't even realize that you've taken your ECU hatred of NC State and planted it in her brain while she
Well,
sleeps.
they're cowards. You can't take a coward.
Colby, I don't want any one-star reviews on this show.
You don't? Those are entertaining. Those are content.
No one cool went to
content
ECU,
gold
bro.
mines.
No one cool went to ECU, bro.
Creighton and NC State are both coming off 20-point losses, which is a bet on side for both teams.
Uh-oh.
You ever been to a Golden Corral, guys?
No.
Really? Have you been?
Did Hoops take you to one last night?
Have you been to a Golden Corral?
I have.
Oh,
You're
welcome.
My cousin used to
ECU alum created Golden Corral.
My cousin used to work at a Golden Corral, and this was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Was he goes, we actually give discounts to certain people, and I go, wait, what do you mean? He goes, if they come in and they show paperwork that their stomach has been stapled, they give them a discount at the Golden Corral buffet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which is insane.
You gotta play into it. Do you like the movie Speed?
I didn't. I'm a Sandra Bullock fan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock went to ECU?
She did.
All right. I'm back on ECU. But I'm fading NC State. I think Creighton's a decent team. They got destroyed there by Xavier, but other than that, I don't know. I just don't like NC State. NC State, 5th in the country in extra scoring chances per game. I guess that could be a positive there. Creighton's, on the opposite side of that. I don't know, man.
This is a slam dunk. This is a slam dunk.
What are you doing, Colby?
Play the 5. They're going to destroy NC State. NC State shouldn't have been in the tournament. They shouldn't even be invited to the CIT or the CBI or whatever it is now. All right? This is a slam dunk. Creighton is playing at a much higher level. I know they had the blemish in the Big East tournament, but this team is way better than NC State. They're way better.
A school from Nebraska coming to Colorado to do business. It's almost like an old football rivalry.
Bring
Colby.
back our good rivalries.
It's almost like, hey, sorry, I was diving a little too deep there. I got lightheaded. Creighton's the obvious play to me. I mean, I think we do have to acknowledge it, though. There's always a team that quote, shouldn't be in the field that goes on a little bit of a run. Is NC State that team?
No.
All right.
I'm not on NC State at all.
Have you selected a team that shouldn't be in that is going to go on that run?
Yeah, I think I know what it is.
All right,
I pinpointed.
We're all on
Who is
Creighton. No, wait, it's coming up.
Oh,
Yes,
it's coming
he's
up.
teasing he's teasing.
All right,
content.
I'm fine with teasing.
4 straight picks for the content as we hop along.
Well, Ryan, before that, speaking of teases, don't tease yourself by not having an amazing erection. You need a great erection. I was hoping someone was going to be walking by when I'm screaming about erections. So there's 2 things I'm passionate about: sports gambling and, of course, having and maintaining a very healthy erection. And I can do the erection part thanks to Sword Vitality. Use that promo code SGPN. Get a nice discount. Increase the blood flow. Sword Vitality can even increase your stamina. You don't have to hide it. You can be proud of it. You're already doing the manscaping. You got to take care of the plumbing.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Again, just think of the amazing blood flow. And you don't need to be embarrassed. Like if you broke your leg, would you go, oh, I'm too proud to get my leg looked at? Why not apply the same thing to your third leg, aka your tripod. Get it taken care of over at swordvitality.com. Promo code SGPN.
It's actually a great way to put it. Like, it would be weird if you just dragged your leg around.
Yeah, you go, why your leg not getting
What are you,
fully
fucking
fur?
pirate?
You can't. Yeah, what's going on with your leg, man?
Yeah, slap on that snorkeling mask, bro. You might find some treasures. All right. We were talking to Jay about this earlier. 13 seed Iona and probably Rick Pitino will be a Big East coach by this time next month. He's heading to one of his old Big East foes, UConn. Well, UConn kind of left. They came back.
And if you're asking the Sword Vitality read being placed right before we talked about Rick Pitino and Iona, completely unrelated. They're not related at all.
Which and unrelated to that unrelated nugget. Shout out to Rick Pitino for getting free meals at diners by tweeting out how great the diner is as he's eating there.
Doesn't need to show that he stapled his chest, right?
No, and I mean the fact that he's known for getting prostitutes at diners and is now promoting diners in his Twitter feed as he's set to be let back into major college basketball is unbelievable. It's almost as good as Will Wade.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Almost as good as Will Wade getting suspended days after he gets hired.
Love that.
I want to know what happened to Will Wade. I guess they said they knew about it. It was part of his contract.
It was part of the hiring.
Yeah, what happened was he was on a wiretap saying, I can make it happen. All right?
The heat is in the hat.
I don't know, though. Bill Self had to sit out his 5 games. The championship still counted, so I don't understand what the NCAA is doing.
If you suspend yourself for 5 games, you don't have to deal with anything further. It's like a sacrifice, like
easy enough.
All right, Iona is catching 9.5 here, plus 350 on the money line, minus 435 for UConn. 143.5 is the total. 67 first half under. This is in Albany, New York. So obviously, UConn is a rabid basketball fan base, and the proximity here, I don't care. Like, Iona just doesn't have enough fans.
Well, and also, are the fans going to rally around this team that Pitino is leaving? It's all but a done deal. Maybe he ends up at even Texas Tech.
No.
Maybe he ends up.
You think he's leaving New York City?
No, I'm just saying. Who knows?
He's not trying to sell his house. He's just negotiating.
Where he ends up. Iona, obviously, coming in, they've won 16 straight. Obviously, different level of competition. UConn top 20 in both offensive and defensive efficiency.
I think they will get up, though, and Jay just mentioned it. They haven't won a tournament game since Jeff Rulin. Love that reference, former Washington Bullet.
Jay, by the way, you gained Colby's respect.
Oh, love that reference to Jeff Ruland. And yeah, I mean, I think they will get up, whether he's leaving or not, which we all think he's leaving.
He's definitely leaving.
Yeah.
Although
they're in the NCAA tournament. They don't get there that often.
Yeah, UConn, #1 in offensive rebounding. I want to take this Iona team, but I just don't know. I mean, UConn has quality wins. Talking about Alabama, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Oregon, as far as some of their wins.
But, yeah, I mean, he highlighted why, though, right? Like, they're like, UConn could be put in an uncomfortable situation, and we've seen UConn teams blow that type of game in the past.
This is the real analysis for me, because I look, if this was a regular season game, I think I would probably take UConn minus the points. But this is Dan Hurley. I cannot take Dan Hurley laying this many points. Rick Pitino is Rick Pitino. There's a strong, an absolute gigantic deep dive advantage to Rick Pitino and the Gales.
For what, diners or
everything? Coaching basketball, diners, Greece championships, doesn't matter.
Right? Ryan Hasty in the YouTube chat's asking, I wonder if they have a screen in there to watch the game. You're damn right we got a screen.
Come on.
That's an embarrassing
thing. You think I would do this show without the Texas A&M
No, we
Christi
don't
game
we don't watch the games. We just talk about them. Yes, Noah is raising his hand off camera. I love the hand raising.
I do too.
It works for your character. Yeah. What's up, Noah?
Colby mentioned that 1-star reviews are very entertaining. The
Yes.
last one that the college basketball experience got.
Oh yeah.
The commenter goes, Carolina born and bred. Advice: no one cool went to ECU.
Yeah, we've been there.
We covered that one.
Colby dropped Golden Corral owner. I'm going to drop the point guard of UConn, Tristan Newton, in his last 6 games, averaging 10.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.2 steals transferred from East Carolina.
That's right. So you know,
Wait a second.
so
he's got the heart of gold. But the problem is,
Wait a
he
second.
had the heart of gold. He transferred. Give me Iona. Let's go.
Do you have the ECU music on your soundboard, Sean, that we can play right now? 'Cause
No, some reason it
This-
slipped.
This is then play the Benedict music. He's going against his own alma mater here.
No, he didn't graduate. It wasn't a grad transfer.
Well, you didn't graduate either, Colby. Not to bring up your.
Wait a second.
I was just taking samples. All right.
He was what? Wait, it's not taking samples. Wait, what is the actual thing? Auditing a course? Colby goes, I'm just taking samples.
Yeah, it's like
he's doing-
Costco. It's like fucking Costco. You're just
I'll
going
take
through,
a. Oh, what do
right?
you got there? A little philosophy? A little physics 101?
He's like one of those. He's like one of those surveyors out on the street, like painting lines on the
Soil
ground,
samples.
picking up some dirt.
Colby went to school at Costco. It's just like Idiocracy.
Wait, East Carolina is Costco?
Yeah,
I love
you go to
I
you
gotta
get
look
samples.
into that. We might have created Costco.
You get
too.
way
Similar-
too big TV.
Similar curriculum.
this works because
Colby went there because they have cheap pizza and hot
Great
dogs.
benefits.
Well,
Great benefits. There's a lot of great women down there at East Carolina.
they have
Right?
a shockingly large amount of people there at all times.
Yeah. Colby, can you get a hot dog and a soda for $2 at
at
East Carolina?
Sup Dogs. Go to Sup Dogs.
There you go.
You got you.
It's Costco.
Yeah, we
The
got
only
you.
the only difference is you don't have to bring your own toothpaste to Costco.
Shout out to
Whoa! I'm sorry. Just so sharp over here.
shout out to CJ Sullivan in the chat.
Oh.
The Bottom Line Bombs, his host on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, pointing out Patino is old school. He forced his assistant to marry his mistress to shut her up. He knows how to get a cover. All right, that's all I need to hear. I'm on Iona.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Kramer, what do you got? Are you going UConn?
I mean, Jay's point is a very good one.
No, he does.
The pressure that Iona could apply here might be a problem.
Well, also his point about if he actually knew, he'd be out here in Vegas with us sitting on piles of cash.
Yeah, I mean, I guess UConn wins the game, but maybe they don't. I'm laying the points. I'm actually standing true. I do think Patino is not 100% focused. 'Cause
Fading Patino in
he's
March.
obviously negotiating.
Snork.
He's
Snork. 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 Snork.
He's obviously negotiating, and
Sorry, Ryan, keep going.
no, I'm done. You know what? It's good. I don't have to talk because I'm looking good. All right, next
Look
up,
good, feel good.
3:50 p.m. on the West Coast, Columbus, Ohio, East Coast or East Region. The Purdue Boilermakers will play the winner of FDU and Texas Southern. So we move along. The 11 seed Providence Friars, Ed Cooley and the boys. They're playing at 4:10 on the West Coast. Greensboro, North Carolina for an East Region matchup with the 6 seed Kentucky Wildcats. -4, -180 on the money line, +155 for the Friars. 144.5 is the total. 67.5 for the first half. Under. Golly, what are you doing to us right here? I mean, I kind of wanted to be a guy on Kentucky in the postseason.
Yeah, so did I. But until they were matched up with Ed Cooley and the Providence Friars.
I mean, at this point, how has Ed Cooley not been on this show?
No,
Is there a
amazing
podcast that loves Ed Cooley more than this one? No.
The
Here's
college basketball experience,
Oh,
maybe.
Joe, shut your goddamn. This is enough. You got your hype man in the studio. You're busting all these plugs in. I see the way you look at Noah.
It's okay. Just keep snorkeling. All right.
Snort.
No, it's enough. The bit's getting old.
Kramer's mad. It's not like the bit where I'm on the not good-looking side of the table and you and Colby are on the good-looking side of the table.
Now,
That bit is timeless.
Suddenly, I'm chopping the table up into thirds.
Providence, though, again, they did lose to all three of the top 100 non-con opponents. Providence did get destroyed in the rebounding margin by UConn, 75-45. Red flags there. Kentucky.
John?
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but can we do a countdown?
Yes.
3,
2, 1.
Bang! Let's go, baby.
And
Coaching.
we've officially cashed our first half under.
I wanted to wait for this to happen to announce this, but in the last week, I had 2 friends reach out to me and go, "Are you still on that?" Like very condescendingly, "Are you still on that first?" Well, 1-0 so far.
There we go.
Bowser, I'll send you we have a graphic you can send back to them. So no words needed, just a nice graphic with the record over the last 10 years.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be a little easier than having some frictionless moments in your personal life. Sorry, Sean. You were in the middle of winning a bet and handicapping a college basketball.
Yeah, I
game.
know. It's a tough job. Someone's got to do it.
We were giving out actual reasons why we like Providence.
Yeah, again, most of the reasons are just sentimental, if I'm being honest. Again, Providence falls in that
Well, they kinda suck
Syracuse,
lately.
Michigan State, area where they would really have to lose for a long time and cost me a ton of money before I turn on this program and on this head coach. Providence is 6-6 away from home, so maybe they got a shot here as a live dog. Colby, what are you doing?
I'm going to ride the Friars because, look, talk about 1 foot out the door potentially. Calipari and this
Notre Dame? Where's he going?
Anywhere but Kentucky. He's been feuding with the fans. Just when you think they get it together, they end up getting beat by Vanderbilt twice. It's hard to understand this team and what's going on. They're a football school now, Sean.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like they could just lump in some extra money onto Mark Stoops' contract and have him do basketball too.
Well, yeah, he probably could. I mean, this talent is still there, but I do think Providence, even though they're away from the dunk and they haven't been great away from the dunk, they have good guard play, and I think that has been a weakness of Kentucky all year. So I do think Providence will be able to take advantage with Bynum, Noah Locke, and Devin Carter, and I think they can present some problems for Kentucky. Give me the 4 to cover. That's Ed Cooley, so the money line's always in play.
There's also an interesting revenge angle in this game, Colby.
Oh, the Bryce Hopkins situation. Yes, that too.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you with the transfer portal, you have players that played for that team and transferred to the other team, and now they see each other in the postseason.
Yeah.
Again, we were discussing this with Jay, but he talked about the bulletin board material. Doesn't necessarily help you during the game, helps you get prepared for the moment. I would argue that playing against your old team also gets you ready for the moment. I mean,
who's going to have that fire?
Anyone who's played basketball with the same dudes for a while, you know what they do. You know their game.
Well, not only that, he didn't get the minutes that he wanted.
You know the coach.
He's a little pissed off about it.
Ryan likes to be familiar with the same kind of dudes.
Yeah,
I want a dick rubbed on me tonight.
Hey, Ryan, come on. We're doing the show. We got to save that for later.
That was before we had the beautiful studio.
It was.
You said you would never take that.
That was us hanging out in a hotel room, sending ourselves to Vegas.
Well, it was a homemade studio.
Yes.
Shout out to
Portable
us
studio.
for making your own studio.
Finding a way, much like our good buddy Merrill Hodge.
Providence, clean sweep. Good luck with Kentucky, Discord. Next up, 420 on the West Coast. We're heading to Albany, New York, Midwest region. Drake, Miami, the 5-12 seed matchup that seems to be drawing everyone's attention as one of the, quote, obvious 12 seeds to advance. Jay seemed to like it a bit. There's obvious reasons to talk down on Miami with the recent injury news. They're laying 2 still, minus 135 on the money line. Drake plus 115, 146.5 is the total, 68.5 under. I certainly love the Drake angle. I think you got to put a little respect in Larinaga's name and the type of team he typically has and how they generally have a little bit of success early in tournaments because of how he builds his team. And you know what? I heard him talking on the Selection Sunday show where he was talking about the things that he does with his team that help them get ready for this moment. And you know what it was?
What's that?
Practicing the late game situations, understanding what to do when you're down or up and there's short clocks, making sure you have smart ball handlers so you don't have to always waste a timeout to tell them what to do. And what I heard there is these are some of the core tenets to my youth soccer teams as well. So,
well, Cash, the other square on the Kramer bingo card mentioning his youth soccer coach.
Jay put the ball on the tee for me, and I think Colby came
as
into
a fellow
it.
Coach, yeah, I like.
I think what I was going to say is that what I always tell my parents is judge the team at the end of the season, not the beginning of the season. When we were talking about
how we finish, that's what matters.
It's important to finish. I could see the reasons you would take Drake here, but this is the number. Now we're back to classic 5-10 spreads. And it's a short number. Miami's not getting a ton of respect here. Now I want to hear what Colby has to say here. I'm still going to reserve time for me to get swayed because I do fancy this little area as upset island. I could be talked into a Drake upset, but I think Miami's the play here, and I think they're getting a little disrespected here on the number, and I think it's because people are coming in and betting Drake. 68% of the money and the tickets are in on Drake. I meant to mention this for the last game we were talking about. Very public side in Kentucky, perhaps why that number was a little big. But when I see Drake and I see all the money, I mean, we talk about fleas during football season. I don't know if fleas make it inside to these nice arenas, but kind of feels like Drake could be the public dog that ends up having fleas.
Fleas die even when you're snorkeling if they try to go underwater with you.
Wow.
You know that?
They call shrimp
monkeys.
the flea of the sea.
I think Jay hit the nail on the head with the Norchad Omier situation. That's kind of important. And without him, I don't think there's any chance they win this game. And even
Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find out a couple hours before the game tips off.
But even if he plays, how healthy is he? And meanwhile,
Drake's best player is the coach's son, which
Yep.
I think that is a cool thing to have, especially in March. I mean, you want to talk about like getting in those extra reps, knowing what your coach wants. Like there's just a number of honestly, the only thing that scares me off of Drake is how everyone else is on Drake.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, I mean, the father-son thing, it's working out great for Ricky and Austin on the Battlehawks.
Ryan, I told you, no XFL
Too
references.
deep.
I think what you like here is how, I mean, I know Miami's got some veterans too, but I feel like Drake's whole team is veterans.
Yeah.
I love the experience. I just think Drake has been a team that we've wanted to take all year. I thought, it would have been a crime to keep them out had they lost the Missouri Valley Championship. And I just think they're hungry. This is a team that look at what they do. They're a top 10 offensive team. They're just a really good team. I'm sorry, not top 10 offensive team. Top 20 offensive team and a top 20 defensive team as well. So they're a very good team, and I think they can pose problems. And especially if you're telling me Miami's not 100%.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, with the injury, you could make a case Drake's defense might be the best unit on the court, actually.
Yeah.
Hungry dogs run faster. Give me Drake +2.
Closer to Albany, New York. Drake or Miami?
I'm going to say Miami.
Drake's in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's closer.
No.
What?
Miami's closer.
Yeah. The ocean.
We really need
I
to
don't
jump
know
over
about
that
this.
ocean.
Guys, we need to do a deep dive on the map. There's a lot of things we've
Top 10 maps podcast?
I mean, the middle of the country is vast and wide, and sometimes it can be deceptive. Speaking of things that are vast, wide, and might be deceptive, the 14-seed Grand Canyon,
Oh, how dare you, Ryan?
they're taking on the 3-seed Gonzaga in Denver, Colorado for a West Region matchup at 4:27 p.m. on the West Coast. Minus 15.5 for Gonzaga, minus 1,500 on the money line. Grand Canyon plus 900. 155.5 is the total. 74 first half under. I don't think – I haven't gotten confirmation of this, but Mark Few I don't think is bringing his dogs with him. So we won't have to drive them home drunk from the lake house.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. I know this is another one of those games where I've not really heard anyone break down the game and tell me why they like Grand Canyon, but I've heard a lot of people say, I like Grand Canyon. I think Gonzaga is underrated this year. I know I'm going to represent the chalk here. I think Gonzaga is on a mission, and I think they're back to a seed that allows them to not have all this hype on them. And I think they're kind of laying, I can't wait to watch them play UCLA. I think that could be one of the matchups of the whole tourney, and it's going to happen in the Sweet 16. So I think Gonzaga rolls here. I don't think the point spread really matters. And were we talking about Grand Canyon on the flight out here?
We were. Frankie Muniz is a big Grand Canyon fan. Of course, they won their conference tournament. I gave it out 14-1. You're welcome, America.
You were hanging out with Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, again, who's having a better year than Frankie Muniz? He's driving NASCAR. Have you seen that?
He's driving like it's the equivalent of whatever.
Malcolm in the middle lane.
Noah, what's below A ball? Like what's below baseball A ball?
Well,
Rookie
there's
league.
High A, there's low A.
What's
and then
below that?
Independent league. You got the Northwoods leagues over there.
He's driving in the independent league version of NASCAR. So
Some say we would be doing the same with our podcast, independently.
Wow.
it makes me kind of like him. But he also was a fan of the Clippers when they sucked, and he stopped being a fan and they got good. So we don't know about
He
Frankie.
was a Sterling guy.
And his buddy.
Sterling's gone. I'm out. That's what Frankie Muniz said.
He's my landlord.
And his closest friends call him Frankie Mush Munoz. So
I think Grand Canyon might actually have some fans that travel to this game. Am I crazy? These Grand Canyon fans are nuts.
I see that.
And it's an easy drive.
You want to borrow this?
No. No one's on Grand Canyon. Plus 15.5? Are you kidding me? I think Grand Canyon can shoot the ball enough to keep them in this game. They take enough threes. They hit enough threes. They're good at the line, 71%, better than Gonzaga slightly. And again, I like the heat they're coming in the tournament with. I'm taking Grand Canyon and the, was it 15.5? That's too crazy. Come on.
The heat's in the oven, Sean.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean?
Where's the oven?
The oven is in Denver, Colorado, at the Ball Arena.
Oh, you're saying they're getting baked. Right? I see what you're doing here.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Kramer. I think it's just a bad matchup for them. Gonzaga's playing at a really high level right now.
Every year, what did we say about them? They didn't play anyone. They didn't play anyone. They didn't play anyone. So what did they do this year? They played everyone.
Yeah.
This team's fucking battle-tested.
Even on an aircraft carrier.
You know what? The West region, there might be some changes being made to my bracket. West region.
Wow, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Benedict music?
No, never Benedict music, but we might just have some different we might have some different
So wait, that's not Benedicting if you change your pick on your sheet?
Oh, my first-round picks aren't changing. It's the Final Four that's changing.
Well, we're talking about the first-round games.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's not changing.
Okay.
But the Wednesday show that everyone's going to tune into where we bring our whole bracket, that show, that content, which no one has heard yet because we haven't recorded it yet.
They're in the vault.
Those things have changed. So, yes, if my future self came back in time, Benedict, and now we go back to the future, all settled. Sean's on an island with Grand Canyon.
It's a great island to be.
6:20 on the West Coast, Columbus, Ohio. East region matchup between Florida Atlantic, the 9 seed, and Memphis, the 8 seed. Memphis -2, -135 on the money line, +115 for Florida Atlantic. 153 is the total, 72 first half under. Listen, these are two bet-on teams, and Colby is going to bellyache about how bad they both got screwed here. But and I think I'm falling victim to recency bias, and I almost want to like pull a full contrarian take here and just go the other way, but it does seem like no one's taking Florida Atlantic, who's a very good team.
Yep.
And it does seem like everyone just watched Memphis go on this nice run. And
beat
honestly,
Houston, this is the time you want to fade.
Exactly.
Memphis, they just beat Houston. They won their conference tournament.
Which some may say could have actually been their goal this year.
Yes.
And they did it without Sasser, so they got false. I mean, you heard what Penny said afterwards. Well, when we lost to them, we had a guy who was hurt too. So
FAU better
it is
in
what it
effective
is.
field goal percentage, defensive efficiency, extra scoring chances per game, rebounding percentage. And FAU has won 30 games. Even their losses are what you would call not that bad. I don't know. I mean,
they lost to Mississippi, which I know
that
they're
is
in
actually-
the SEC.
That was the
but-
first game of the season, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was the second game after they faced Lynn, Division II stalwart.
Oh, good old Lynn. I know her.
Yeah.
No, guys, I'm sorry.
What?
Sorry, FAU. They got hosed in this spot, but Memphis is a train right now. You don't want this. You don't want to be on the tracks. FAU only starts one upperclassman.
Bring that
They only
train.
start one upperclassman.
Come on, Casey Jones.
0 tournament experience. Meanwhile, Memphis is a roster full of seniors with tournament experience. Memphis is going to take them down.
What?
Their length is going to be a problem.
We were having such a long conversation of all the respect I have for Penny Hardaway and how his name got dragged through the mud a bit there. And this motherfucker's been coaching some of these dudes since 6th grade. Like, that's fucking youth sports. It's AAU, sure, but it's youth sports. So you know what? Let's fucking go. Making some more adjustments to my bracket.
Benedict, you're changing it to Memphis.
Let's go. I mean,
I'm not switching. I'm sticking with FAU.
You're going to want to switch on this.
They're such a better team.
Yeah, get out of your fucking spreadsheet.
They got 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds going up against 24-year-olds. This ain't going to happen.
Get out of that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I do like what Penny is
Staying
building.
tough with FAU.
Judge me on how my team is doing at the end of the year, not the beginning. Next up, 6:40 on the West Coast, Greensboro, North Carolina. Long trip here as they face off in the East region for Montana State, the 14 seed, They have Cougars down there, too, so they'll feel right at home. They're catching 8.5 points against the 3-seed Kansas State Wildcats. Another cat-on-cat game. So many cats in the college ranks. Minus 8.5 for Kansas State, minus 3.
There's
90.
no way Colby isn't taking Montana
Plus
State.
320 for Montana State. 139 is the total. 65 first half. Under.
I mean, are you saying this because I'm doing ESPN Montana? Is that
Yes.
why?
You're going on Missoula radio.
Yeah.
You're gonna hype
Missoula
up.
is the rivals of Missoula's where the University of Montana is. The Grizzlies, the rivals of Montana State.
Oh, you're
wow.
right.
So
Yes.
I got to play to that crowd. And
Sean, you know Colby's a bear guy.
yeah,
He does
big
have
bear
cats at home, but he's also a bear guy.
Bear guy, big animal guy. And I was let down earlier when you said, "What am I? I'm not an animal guy," because I thought we were going to do our podcast on the list with the animals.
Well, yeah, and Ryan lived in bear country there in West LA, there, West Hollywood, right? And you said you were surrounded by bears.
And some might see the brown bear on the flag of the great state of California. What they wouldn't know is the brown bear has been extinct in California for a long time. It was doing a lot too much damage to the humans.
I know that brown bear and human can't coexist peacefully in California.
but Sean is correct. I not quite grizzly man, but I was in a similar situation once upon a time.
No, but does this line smell to you guys at all?
What do you mean? You think Kansas State should be bigger
It
favorites?
should be like 11 or 12.
Yeah, it stinks.
It's almost too easy. Again, Montana State's fine, but this Kansas State team I think they're a pretty good team, and fortunate, I think, to match up against Montana State.
So wait, who you
I'm on Kansas State.
I think I'm with you. Here. It's a far trip. I know they were complaining about Bozeman to Greensboro, mental health.
I mean, Kansas State can
Manhattan,
play.
Kansas is easy to get to Greensboro.
Kansas
Get outta
State
here.
19th in defensive efficiency, going up against Montana State, whose offense is 170th in the country. I just don't see a lot of offensive opportunities for Montana State.
Can I tell you why I'm surprised you're not liking this one, Sean?
Why?
Because this Montana State team is number 3 in the nation in terms of collecting their points from free throws. They score more points from the line than every other team in the nation but 2. And they get to the line as much as any team in the nation. And what is Kansas State's defense's problem?
Yeah, they foul, but also on the other side, Kansas State hits their free throws. They're right up there at 75th percent.
But Montana State, I mean, they may put you at the line, but I don't think it's the same level of problem. And I think when you're catching all these points, I mean, Colby's right to think the line is a little on the short side.
This is the Courtney Love game of the tournament, right?
So if it stinks, are you taking Montana State?
Sometimes you got to ride with Courtney. It might not smell good. You might get a shotgun to the face.
Convertible.
But I will take Kansas State minus 8.
How is Courtney Love not in Cocaine Bear? See, that would have brought an extra level of realism.
No, I think she's in the real story that they based the film off of. Right?
She's not available? Save a couple
No,
bucks.
she was in Heroin Deer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Heroin Deer.
I get that confused all the time. Thank you.
In
Chad.
Wyoming, right?
Chad is lit. Make sure you go to youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Smash that subscribe button. Toss us a thumbs up. So many people watching. Come on, hitchhike on the road to winners here. Toss us a thumbs up. Danger Aaron saying Kramer is a hybrid of Big Ben and Vince Vaughn and Swingers. We also have Myron Kidd saying he's got Montana State going to the Elite Eight in his bracket.
You know what?
Daryl pointing out K-State disappeared end of season. And K-State, kind of a somewhat different team, home and away, and I think that's factored in the line.
Kansas State's coach was also pretty arrogant in the Selection Sunday interviews.
Oh, he's incredible, though. Have you seen this guy partying at their football games?
He was talking a lot of shit to other conferences. So I don't know how you.
Well, as he should. The Big 12's only been in every. They won the back-to-back national championships.
While I think the concern of them getting the line, Kansas State as a team, I think, makes a deep run. And so I think they overcome this. Or maybe we're helped out by the refs. Sometimes these teams that rely on the fouls, they get into March, and maybe the whistle's not coming out as much because they've gotten that memo. We've heard of the memo. Hopefully they swallow that whistle. All right, one more game that we can actually pick. 6:50 on the West Coast. Albany, New York, Midwest region, 4-seed Indiana against the 13-seed Kent State. Indiana's laying points here. I have no idea why. Minus 175 on the money line. Kent State plus 150. 140 for the total. 65.5 first half under. This is also going to be the team. The winner of this game would play the winner of Drake Miami. It's why I mentioned earlier with Jay. I think this could be a 12-13 get-through game. Obviously, I'm all over Kent State. Kent State is a great team. They're from the MAC. MAC is one of our conferences here on the Sports Gambling Podcast.
I don't have the number in front of me, but I think it was like 15-5 ATS in the round of 64.
You have a classic situation here where you're also getting to do the fade the Big Ten system. And which conference is the Big Ten's little brother? It would be the MAC. We got some conference revenge angle here. I'm all in on Kent State. You can pencil. You can already put this in as my dog.
Have you been listening to the college basketball experience all year? Sounds like you have.
Hold on. There's some more of my fans outside.
They're
checking out how sharp I look in this blazer and these shady rated glasses. Kent State on the money line. The wrong team is. I'm not joking when I say the wrong team's favorite.
Kent State's defense is
Tell me the
really
reason.
good. I mean, I guess Indiana's offense, they shoot the ball pretty well, and if they get hot, they certainly have guys and the guards that could kind of run away with the game. I think is the case there.
Colby, tell me why.
I've been in love with Kent State all year. This is a team. They remind me of Loyola Chicago. I've said that on multiple shows.
I thought you were going to say stripper, by the way.
And we haven't
not
even
Kent State.
We've talked all this Kent State talk without even mentioning Sincere Carey.
Yeah,
he has that profile of someone that everyone's going to be like, wait, who's Sincere Carey? This guy's awesome.
Great name.
And Malik Jacobs.
And they actually call carries in college basketball, thankfully.
They do. And look, I think another thing is I think they have a coaching advantage. Mike Woodson, he's done a good job. He hasn't won he won the play-in game tournament.
NBA guy.
Yeah, but he really is inexperienced to the NCAA tournament. Senderoff, long time Kelvin Sampson assistant.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I've been wanting to take this Kent State team all year, and I think it's a good matchup for them. I understand. Trace Jackson Davis, one of the best players in college basketball, sure, but I expect Senderoff to have some type of game plan to limit him. And look at what they did defensively. They kept Houston to under 50 points at Houston.
Yeah,
they almost knocked off Gonzaga at the Kennel.
Yeah,
Kent State's winning this
It's a bet
game.
on team. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Time for our. You have something more?
Well, I was just going to say, do we have any data on teams with multiple three named players? We have Trace Jackson
They're
Davis
assassins.
and Jalen Hood.
See what I did there?
I think Kent State's the easiest play on the board. All right, last game that we would have is TCU taking on the winner of the Arizona State-Nevada game, the 6-11 matchup in Denver. That will be the nightcap. Can't pick it. They have not advanced yet.
And tune in tomorrow. We're going to be picking the games that we couldn't picked, right, because of the play-in games. And then we'll give out our full bracket. We'll also talk some of the prop bets and futures we like as well.
Hell yeah. Well, a lot of the futures might be informed by how our bracket plays out.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
We don't need roads. That's essentially what Jay was alluding to, what was going on in Coach K's garden. All right. Lock. Do I go for play the sound effect again? I'm not very good.
Lock, and Dog, brought to you by ShadyRays.com, promo code SGPN. What do you got, Kramer?
Wait, just so we're clear, Sean, I have Miami, not Drake.
Oh, let's see what he did there.
You saw that, right? Sometimes you got to check the proctor's work.
All right.
That's not a butt doctor, but
I thought you hated Miami.
I do hate Miami, but I had a nice soliloquy on why Larinaga and his system of basketball works in the early rounds of March Madness. I'm sad you missed that thesis. All right, lock number one. Oh, man. So many great plays here, but VCU plus the 4. This is going to be a rock fight. Very well could be a couple-point game. I think VCU wins on the money line. Lock number 2. You know what? I'm seeing a different path here. Lock number 2, give me Providence plus the 4 points. Lock number 3, give me Kent State plus the 4 points.
Oh, wow. That was going to be your dog.
I had a change of heart because I see a dog here that's priced at plus 470.
Wow.
And I absolutely think they can win this game. I know you guys are big Baylor fans, even though you picked against them here, Benedict. But UCSB is live.
Okay.
And I will say it, in a shootout, if I believe that you can score with that team, I believe you can win against that team. I think there's a chance also they some of those gauchos, maybe they made the trip out to Denver. Again, medicinal marijuana.
They got the Oprah money up there.
Legal in both states. So, all right, Colby. Or no, Sean. You like the plus 444 on the locks?
Okay.
I didn't even plan it.
Don't hate that.
Didn't even plan it that
Michigan
way.
State minus 1.5. Tom Izzo is a god. For my
That's a bad play.
For my other lock, I'm gonna go in Providence plus 4. Let's see. For my final lock, Creighton minus 5.5. That it's the Jays, man. They're gonna be on a heater.
I'm very worried that the combination of Colby's wife picking Creighton and the fact that NC State's very clearly going to be the team that shouldn't be in the tourney but gets to the Sweet 16. That's my only concern there. So good luck.
And then last but not
Jurassic
least, give me Kent State on the money line.
I was always a fan of Congo, not the movie.
You've watched Jurassic Park a little too much. All right.
That
scene
is Jurassic Park.
I know we got to get out of here,
that
but
scene
I
where
also
that big
rode the
pile
fucking
of shit-
I did the helicopter ride in Hawaii with the music in my ears. I
Yeah.
lived Jurassic
and
Park.
I bet you went over and bathed in that big pile of shit in that movie.
Wow.
All right, because that's the way these pics are coming off over there. All right, as you snorkel up, taking NC State. Lock up Creighton, Sean. Michael Creighton.
I'm not on
get
NC
it
State.
done.
I'm worried that's the team that's going to surprise us.
Well, I'm also locking up Michigan State.
All
Sparty.
right, you and Sean want to just hold hands and take 3 picks together?
I'm locking up Memphis because Florida Atlantic, the old folks' home, ain't going to travel well to Columbus, Ohio.
I
all right?
almost locked that up as well. That's a good pick. Cole.
And the dog is Kent State money line. I told you this.
All right. So
See
what
you
do
at
we
the
do?
finish
What do
line.
we do for the Tripus? Because we got UCSB, we got Kent State.
Vermont.
Oh, what? Wait, hold on.
What?
You don't want to put? Providence.
I was saying Providence or VCU.
VCU.
What do we feel better about?
I actually feel better about VCU.
VCU money line. Do
Okay,
it.
so the official Tripus is UCSB, Kent State, and VCU.
Play the cash register. Thank you.
Play the cash register. Indeed. We will be back tomorrow night giving out our full bracket release as well as any futures we like, and then picking the last remaining games. Make sure you guys get in our free contest. Download that SGPN app.
Smash!
That subscribe button.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
I think I concluded that I'll be letting it all ride on a big money line first round. So
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
appreciate the snorkeling mask, but I still free dive like a man.
Kramer, let it ride.